Hello, welcome to LCCS 3rd grade news. I'm Puppet Tucker and I'm reporting on the Lenape. Well, who were the Lenape? The Lenape were the people before us. They developed our culture. The meaning of the name Lenape is the people. The Lenape can also be referred to as Lenni Lenape, meaning true people, or the Delaware Indians. The Lenape are the oldest tribe in the Northeast, existing for over 10,000 years. The Lenape lived in what is now New Jersey and small parts of New York, Delaware, and Connecticut. As you can see on the map, almost all of the parts on the East Coast are covered by the Lenape. Did you ever wonder how Lenape lived? Well, Lenape lived in villages of round houses called wigwams. Wigwams were made of saplings covered with bark or cattail mats. Wigwams were often built in dome or cone shape. Well, what if you had a big family and could not live in only a small wigwam? Well, then some Lenape Indians preferred longhouses to wigwams. Longhouses were very big. Longhouses were made of wooden frames and covered with birch bark. The Lenape would utilize natural materials to build their houses. Do you think the Lenape children went to school? Well, let's hear from 3rd grade teacher Miss Bear. If schools were not there back then, how do you think Lenape children learned?
Great question, Puppet. So, yes, it's true that the Lenape did not have a school that looked like what LCCS looks like today. I think they probably did maybe some learning with their families, right? Or they maybe a lot of times lived together with other families, so possibly they worked with other families that they lived with and tried to, the children would do activities together with other families that they lived with. But I don't think that back then they had, schoolhouses yet. Sort of traditional schools had not been established yet, so it wasn't for years later that those Lenape children, would have gone to something like a traditional type school. So I think they probably did some learning with their families, and remember they were trying to live off the land and survive, so I think a lot of the schooling was really sort of learning life skills, like learning how to gather, berries and food and farm, and then learning how to hunt. So I think they didn't necessarily, learn reading and math similar to how we do, but they, worked with their families to sort of learn all the life skills that they needed to learn.
Not only did Lenape teach their children, but they also had other responsibilities as well. Lenape men were hunters and sometimes went to war to protect their families. Lenape women were farmers and did most of the child care and cooking. Both genders took part in storytelling, art, music, and traditional medicine. The children would help their mothers or fathers around age 5 or 6. The boys would help their fathers and the girls would help their mothers. The fathers and boys would go hunting and fishing, and the women and girls would go gathering and farming. Well, back then you wouldn't find t-shirts, so what would Lenape wear? In summer, men only wore a breechcloth and leggings made from deer skins. A breechcloth is a cloth that goes over a belt. In winter, men and boys wore fur robes. On the other hand, women wore knee-length shirts and tops made out of deer skins. When it was cold, women would wear deerskins, mantles, or cloaks. Both men and women wore earrings and deerskin moccasins. The men did not usually wear long headdresses. They usually wore a headband with a feather or two on it. I smell a pizza. I'd love to eat pizza, but can Lenape eat pizza? No, but the Lenape used fishing, farming, gathering, and hunting as primary techniques to get food. The Lenape were farming people. Women took most of the time planting crops called the Three Sisters, which included corn, beans, and squash. Lenape men went hunting for deer, elk, turkeys, and caught fish in the rivers and inlets. Foods included soup, cornbreads, dumplings, and salads. The Lenape spoke two related languages, Unami and Munsi, both of which are Eastern Algonquin languages. Let's hear the importance of Algonquin language from music teacher Miss Jaffrey.
The song Nibi Wabo was taught by an Aboriginal woman who speaks Algonquin, and she represents all of the tribal leaders really in North and South America who feel that water and air and earth are so important to the survival of all species on this planet, and that if we do not protect it, that we will perish.
The Lenape tribe is known for their beadwork and basketry weaving. They also crafted wampum out of white and purple shell beads. The wampum beads were traded as a kind of currency, but they were more culturally important as an art material. Well, Lenape did not just bore themselves doing all work. Just like we do today, Lenape also had games. Sometimes teens played ball, and sometimes children would sneak up on someone and scare them. Girls played with cornhusk dolls, and boys played games like Spear the Deer. Running and racing was also a popular sport. Have you eaten popcorn? I'm sure you have probably eaten popcorn. Well, you know who invented it? It was actually the Lenape. Miigwech for watching with me. That means thank you for watching with me. I hope this news was informative. If you have any questions, you can email me at pavit-tucker@lccsnj.org. This is Pavit Tucker signing off. Bye.